The Dylan Raiola disrespect just went completely overboard, and I'm sick and tired of it. CBS Sports just took a huge shot at the Husker starting quarterback, and the internet has been erupting. So in today's video, I'm going to give you my instant reaction. What exactly was said? Is it valid? Is it not? And everything else you need to know about this growing story, along with a huge update around Nebraska's potential silent commit. We'll talk about it. The Huskers having a tackle battle going into the Michigan State game. And then at the end of the video, we'll have a conversation around Matt Rhule versus CIGNETTI. That's been going all over YouTube recently. Did the Huskers mess up? We'll discuss it and so much more. So hey, really quick, if you're having a good Thursday, because I know I am, hit that like button. And also, if you're a diehard Nebraska fan and you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Listen, we have the best family on Husker YouTube, and this is the only place on Husker YouTube you can get daily content talking to your favorite team. Join this family, hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much. But without further ado, we have a lot to talk about. I want to get things started with the Dylan Raiola disrespect. We'll get to the left tackle battle later. We'll talk about CIGNETTI at the very end of the video because that's been making its rounds. But I saw this recently that went viral by the Cover 3 podcast, which is one of the biggest college football podcasts out there. They released an episode just a couple days ago where one of their hosts by the name of Tom Fornelli was attacking Dylan Raiola left and right, said he's completely out on Dylan Raiola, that he's trying to do too much. He's trying to look like Patrick Mahomes. He's trying to play like Patrick Mahomes. He said, and I quote, Dylan does not care about being a good quarterback. That's not the top of his priorities. He's just all about trying to be something he's not. Okay, and trying to make these fancy plays and look cool for his Instagram. And that went viral on social media. TikTok, it got, a bunch of likes. Instagram, Twitter, all these people ripping Dylan Raiola. Like it or not, Dylan's a very controversial figure outside the Nebraska fan base. A lot of people like to rip him. But anyways, again, it's been going viral, right? And basically one of our beat reporters, Mitch Sherman, went on the radio a couple days ago and was ripping Tom Fornelli for this, saying, hey, he's completely out of line. And Tom went to Twitter and said basically that he believes that Dylan Raiola is a really good quarterback. So he kind of went back on his words already, right? He already backtracked it. But he said the thing that's holding Dylan Raiola back is his lower half of his body, right? He's great arm talent, he has power, he has accuracy, but it's the lower half, it's the hips that really hold him back from being an upper echelon guy. Now, honestly, to play devil's advocate, I don't disagree with Tom, right? We've been talking about on the channel since he got here. Like, the reason why Dylan Raiola's depot actually is so suspect is because, yes, he doesn't push through like he should with his hips, with his legs, with his lower body. That's where the power comes from. That's where that actually comes from when you're going 30, 45 yards out. So, for example, the Houston Christian game when he underthrew Dane Key, because really he was trying to, he's trying to loft that ball in there. But you look at that pass, he didn't really shift his hips like you should. That's where you get the precise precision to where you get the accuracy. So I actually kind of agree with him, and we've been talking about that for a long time. A lot of other Nebraska beats have talked about that. That's not crazy to me. But the point that Tom Fornelli made that was awful. He said that Dylan Raiola's pre-snap reads are one of the worst, not only in the Big Ten, but in America. He couldn't be more wrong. And Damon Benning, that his ears perked up. He got involved in this thread. He said that one you should be backpedaling on. Tom Fornelli, went on and basically compared to Mahomes once again. And Damon ended off the conversation by saying, criticisms are cool. Making things up are probably where you should just own it. So again, this Tom Fornelli guy's a clown. Everybody there at Cover 3, they're all clowns, right? I don't listen to that show just because it's SEC programming. You know how it is. If there's an SEC quarterback, they're going to hype him up. But if it's a Big Ten guy, yeah, they're terrible, right? And again, they use it for clicks. They compare him to Mahomes all the time. We've already had that conversation before. But again, if there's anything that he's right about, the lower half, it is struggling, right? He does not use his hips as much as he should. That's very evident if you know anything about, quarterback IQ and quarterback just overall their performance. But as for the pre-snap reads, saying that he wants to be Mahomes, doesn't care about being a good quarterback, it's ridiculous, right? You're just trying to stir up a storm here. So anyways, and I also want to show you guys this. Who was Tom Fornelli's love child all offseason long? DJ Lagwood. Look at his EPA. Look, these are the efficiencies, the percentiles. He's not in the top 50 percentile of any statistic for a quarterback in the country. Not even rush efficiency, which is what he should be good at as a dual threat. He's terrible. Compare that. Take a look at this. And I want to compare this to Dylan Raiola. Now, before I show you Dylan, keep in mind that people said that DJ Lagway was the #1 quarterback in America preseason. And they wouldn't even put Dylan top 20. So this is DJ. Here's Dylan. Big difference, right? Pretty much top 25 percentile and literally everything. The only thing that he's struggling at is the sack rate, obviously with his poor offensive line. But granted, it is a little bit of a Dylan fault because Dylan holds on the ball a little bit too long, which we've discussed. So And this kind of proves everything I told you guys around Dylan, where I believe Dylan's a really good quarterback. Not necessarily to the point where I think he's great, right? And that reflects it here. All these efficiencies are good, not great. There's no reason that, again, top 10 percentile, top 5 percentile, but again, he's a very good quarterback. And the fact that the national media continues to rip him, especially after the Michigan game, like the fact that Tom Fornelli made a podcast after the Michigan game and said he's out on Dylan. I'm not going to use the language I want to, but are you stupid? Are you stupid? Dylan threw for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, got sacked 7 times because the offensive line couldn't hold a block. He got pressured 39 of his 45 dropbacks. But yes, it was Dylan's fault. We're out on Dylan, right? Let's go ahead and make a podcast about it. You're stupid. You're ridiculous. But continue to lift up DJ Lagway and Lenore Sellers and Arch Manning and all those other bum quarterbacks, Ty Simpson. Every SEC quarterback known to man, but again, Dylan thrown under the bridge, right? Bust, right? That's the narrative, right? That's cool. Unbelievable. And again, I'm absolutely sick and tired of it. Again, Dylan's the only FBS quarterback to surpass 1,000 passing yards, 10 touchdowns, and completion percentage of 75% within the first 4 weeks. Tells you everything you need to know. So wanted to address that real quick, but again, the Dylan disrespect got to stop. But you know how you stop it, Dylan? Well, there's 2 ways. Number one, you stop doing all them home stuff, right? And that, again, I think some of it he does do, right? The celebrations. But here's the big one. Here's how you stop the criticism. Win the big game. Win the big game. Hopefully that's coming later down the line against USC. All right, want to have a conversation with you guys around Nebraska potentially having a left tackle battle going into the Michigan State game. We'll get to the silent commit later, but this is something I've seen a lot of on social media, and I guess I don't really understand it. I saw a tweet on just a couple days ago. It had a lot of likes. It was on. I've seen the sentiment on Instagram too, all the social medias, the message boards. People want Elijah Prichett to start going into Michigan State. I do not understand this for the life of me. Okay, and I understand Gunnar Gatula was horrific versus Michigan. You do not have to tell me that, right? He gave up 2 sacks. He got benched very early on. But I don't think people understand how unplayable Elijah Prichett has been so far this year. Okay, like, for example, they benched Gunnar Gatula versus Michigan, which I agree with. They put in Prichett. They gave him an opportunity. I think that's cool. Give Elijah an opportunity. And Elijah false started on the first snap. His second snap, he gave up a pressure. Third snap, he gave a pressure. And then I believe the fourth snap was a miscommunication in the run game, and they quickly took him out. And for that reason, he graded as one of the worst players on offense, even worse than Gunnar Gatula. So I've seen this narrative where, well, Pritchett's the answer at left tackle. His only issue is the false starts, and that'll figure itself out. No, that's not his only issue. He can't hold a block in the pass pro. He's getting worse in the run game. He's unplayable. And I don't say this to, completely dog on Prichett. I wish he was good. Trust me. But it frustrates me when I told you guys all my concerns about Prichett all offseason long. He was not a good player at Alabama. He had off the field issues, all this stuff. And turns out all of that stuff turned out to be the case. We've seen both of those happen at Nebraska. He's still not a good player, and he still has off the field issues. And yet people are calling from the start? In what world? Like, he's not Micah Mazuka. Micah Mazuka had some off the field stuff, but when he was on the field, he was a dog. It's not that way with Prichett. He consistently grades out terribly according to Pro Football. And again, he gives up pressures. Against Cincinnati, he gave up 2 false starts, 2 sacks. Anyways, again, and Gunnar Gatula is a flawed player too, but at least Gunnar played well the first 3 weeks. Anyways, I've seen a lot of that. Now, if there is an opportunity for Elijah to play, I wouldn't mind putting Elijah back at right tackle. I don't know why Nebraska hasn't done this just yet. Why are they so adamant on putting Elijah at left tackle? Some players just aren't meant to be swing tackles. They're meant to play right or they're meant to play left. Some tackles just can't play both because you're basically doing everything opposite, right? Elijah played right tackle in high school. Great at it. Played right tackle at Alabama. He was a lot better at that than he was left. Why are we trying to force him at left? At this point, in my opinion, the weaker link between Gunnar and Teddy is Teddy. Teddy's the worst player, and it's been that way. So, if anything, why not shift Elijah over at right tackle? I think he'd be a lot more productive there. That's the conversation I'm willing to have. I'm willing to put maybe Elijah over there at right tackle and have that battle continue as the year goes on if Teddy continues to struggle. But as for Gunnar, Gunnar just had 1 bad game. And Gunnar did not play the levels of what Elijah Prichett has in the past. So I just want to address that narrative because, again, it's not just the false starts. The false starts are a huge issue. Pretty much people are like, oh, it's only false starts. It's not a big deal. False starts are pretty much as bad as sacks are because you're giving up 5 yards. But anyways, I just don't understand that sentiment. So I just wanted to address that real quick. I do believe it'll still be Teddy and Gunnar going into Michigan State. Then I want to talk about our silent commit real quick. So, of course, on Monday, this was posted by Hayes Fawcett, basically hinting at potentially Nebraska silent commit. Usually when they tweet stuff like this out, it means something's happening. And to this very day, we have not received any news. We don't have any crystal balls. We don't have any articles. Like, there's nothing really showing that Nebraska maybe has a silent commit. So my assumption here is one of two things. Number one, they're waiting to announce this probably until the weekend or maybe in 2 weeks, or I mean, Hayes Fawcett might have just been trolling, but I will tell you this. I reached out to my man, Jalyn Haney, and I said, hey, just tell me, like, was this for you? And he said he said he could not confirm or deny whether or not that tweet was for him, but he said soon something may be happening. So if there's anybody I think is on commit watch, I do think it's Jalyn. I've said that for a while now on the channel. I think it'll happen pretty quickly here by the end of the year. I don't think that tweet was in reference to him, though. I'll be honest with you. Again, the 3-star running back out of Central. And also, we got news today that Mason Haleman, we've made his top 5. He's a 3-star tackle coming out of Illinois. But also, I do not believe that tweet was in reference to him. And again, as for the people saying, oh, it was Kennedy Brown, it was Juju Johnson, it was Duve Williams, 5 stars. Again, it wasn't any of those guys, right? So I don't know what that was about, but I'll definitely keep you guys posted. But if it was anybody, it might have been my guy, Jalyn Haney. And last thing, I want to have a conversation with you guys before we get out of here. Let's talk Kirk Cincinnati, because I get this comment all the time. I got it last year. Did Nebraska mess up by hiring Matt Rhule? Or is Matt Rhule just a way worse coach than Kirk Cincinnati? Because we know what Kirk did versus Illinois, right? Blew him out. He blew out Nebraska last year. And I'll tell you guys this. I think when it's all said and done, Matt Rhule will be a better hire for Nebraska than what Kirk Cincinnati would be. If Kirk Cincinnati's succeeding right now, he's doing a lot of great things. And right now, Indiana's a way better team than us. I will not lie to you. Indiana has a better quarterback than us, objectively. Fernando Mendoza is probably going to be in the mix for Heisman. They have a better running back than us. Okay. They definitely have better receivers than us in Elijah Surratt, right? And a couple others in there. They have a better O-line, D-line. Like, I think pretty much every single positional group for them is better than us. And their coaching staff is better than us. So I understand the frustration, like, oh, you know, Kirk Cincinnati's only in year 2, Matt Rhule's in year 3, and yet they're better in every single facet, and they're competing for the playoffs. I understand that, right? But the reason why I believe that Matt Rhule is going to be the better hire for us long-term is for 2 things. Number one, Matt Rhule's building for the future. Matt Rhule's building for a long-term sustainability, right? You're very heavy on the transfer portal, but also on high school recruiting. You look at Kirk Cincinnati, he's building for now because he's an older head coach. He doesn't know how long he's going to do this. So Kirk Cincinnati's saying, you know what, I'm going to go all out in the transfer portal every single year. I'm going to get guys who are proven. And that's his strategy. Like, India does not have any NIL money. Okay, they just get guys who don't have star ratings, aren't super athletic. They don't care about, oh, what you can be. They care about what you already are, what you've already proven. So they'll get an FCS guy who maybe doesn't run a 4.4, but put up, 600 receiving yards, right? And they'll get him in there, and he'll be a good player, right? So it's all about production rather than star rating. That's why they get all these good transfers that maybe are underlooked. But anyways, it's all that to say this. Kirk Cincinnati, it's not sustainable what he's doing because he doesn't recruit high schoolers. So you look at they had one of the worst high school recruiting classes last year. Same deal this year. And I know Nebraska's high school recruiting class is struggling right now. But we look at 27, it's not going to be that case. So again, Kirk Cincinnati, I could very well see a scenario with him where next year he struggles. Next year he falls on his face, right? And has a really poor season. But I understand everybody always like to compare. And again, it is frustrating, right? And it is very frustrating. Last year when we played Indiana, and Kirk Cincinnati clearly was the better coach of the better team in year 1 compared to year 2. Am I a believer that Matt Rhule is the best coach in the world? No. I think Matt Rhule's very flawed. I think Matt Rhule, there's criticism. He can't win the big game, and that's correct. He can't win the big game. He cannot out-scheme opposing head coaches, right? If you believe he's a perfect head coach, you're wrong, right? It's just the way it goes, right? Matt Rhule has his flaws, but does that mean that, again, he's the troll under the bridge and that Kirk Cincinnati's way better in every single department? No. Okay, I do believe the Matt Rhule hire is going to bring us sustainability. That's all we want. All we want to be for Matt Rhule is to be a 9-10 win team consistently. I don't believe Matt's ever going to win a natty. I don't think you do either. But if Matt can just bring us to win 10 games and he can be kind of our pillar, he can be our bridge to potentially another coach who can actually be that guy to get us there, that's going to be our best case scenario, right? Kirk Cincinnati, I don't think, is going to ever win a national championship or ever win a Big Ten title in Indiana. And if he leaves to go to a better program, which I think he will, he's going to leave Indiana in a worse place than what they were. So just wanted to have that conversation with you guys. Hope that all makes sense. Again, Cincinnati doing a good job, but at times we just shouldn't compare. We're on an upward trajectory as well. I understand Indiana's ahead of schedule, but we're going to still be a very good team this year when it's all said and done. All right, guys, let me know your thoughts down below about everything. Hope you guys have a great Thursday. We might be going live tomorrow night reacting to Trey Taylor's game. I'll keep you guys posted on that. Again, we'll probably be live around 8 o'clock. I'm not sure. I have something to do before that. I have a wedding to go to, but stay posted on that one. All right, go big red, go at rule, and I'll see you in the next one. Hit that like button and subscribe.